All right, this tutorial is going to be on audio mixdown, exporting your music into a WAV file that you can convert into an MP3 or burn a CD. The final moment, what you've been waiting for after all your hard work putting together your music. All right, so obviously you want to make sure your volumes are set correctly, and mixing in itself is an art form as well. But I'm going to give you a couple of pointers here on that. Okay, one of the things you want to be able to access is the control room mixer, which is under devices. And the control room mixer is normally not enabled, at least not in Cubase 5, so you have to enable it. So to enable it, you go to the device, or you go to VST Connections, and the tab to the far right, the Studio tab, has the option to enable the control room. Right now it says disable control room because I already enabled it. So all you got to do is click on that, enable it, and that's all you do. So once you pull up the control room mixer, here, we'll play this. You've got some options. Well, Mama told me you can add when I was young. You can increase the gain. There's all sort of things you can do, and I'll show you here as it's playing. Sit beside me. Thing. My only son. Listen closely. But the reason I have a compressor installed is because a compressor is a very valuable digital effects unit. It's right up there with reverb and some of those others. And what it does is when you sing too loud, especially like for vocals or guitars, or even maybe some heavy drums, you might get a little distortion. But you don't necessarily want to lower the volume because you want that maximum amount of music and sound within your track or whatever. That's what a compressor does. It's very useful for the voice because you sing, a voice can sing very loud and very soft. So a compressor, when you go over that threshold and you sing a little too loud and there's a little distortion, the compression tops it compresses the very top of the signal so you don't have that distortion. So you can either add it on the individual tracks like you would a regular digital effect, or you can add it on the master channel here. This affects all the tracks. This digital effects will affect all the tracks. You can also add reverb and other effects, but this is all I'm going to add is the compressor. And you access it right here under I believe it's modulation or dynamics. Yeah, it's under dynamics. Okay, and to access the interface, just click on this little icon and it'll come up. And there's various settings, presets for different settings on the compressor, or you can customize them yourself. All right, and you can also add, it's a digital effect, so you can add it on your individual tracks if you want. So, oh, I also wanted to point out too, the option here to view the interface, the compressor interface, is very similar to this option when you want to view the interface for the track, the virtual instrument. You just click on this little icon. All right. So, with that being said, once that's all oh, I did want to show you the difference between the with or without the compressor. So watch this. What I say. This is with the compressor. If you do this, it'll help you. Someday. Yeah, it will. There's a little more distortion. So, oh, take your time. Don't live too fast. clean sound. I still
Troubles will come.
All right, so one of the first things you want to do after you've done that, and after all your mixer settings are done, you want to make sure the output of all your tracks, your virtual instruments, your MIDI channels, and your audio channels are set to stereo out. All of them. And now, with your audio tracks, you just have one track and that's it. But for your MIDI tracks, you have two tracks. You have the track for the actual where you have your notes, your MIDI notes. You also have another track, okay, that controls volume and different things like that. On these other tracks, you want to make sure the output is set to stereo out as well. And also, just a reminder, with these tracks, if you want to do a digital effect, this is where you add it. Okay, and I've gone over that before in a previous video, but if any added special effects or whatever, you click on the VST instrument track rather than the actual MIDI track. Now there is another insert you can do on the MIDI track, which is right here, but the effects are different. They're exclusive only to MIDI and not audio. So there's a few extra that you can do for MIDI that you can't do with audio. Okay, and that's right on the actual track. Just select the insert option. Okay. All right. So once everything is set to stereo out, the next thing you want to do is make sure your locators are set from for the full range of the song. So right here, as you can see, I've got it set for the very beginning. And all the way to the very end of the song. Okay, that's important. You might make a mistake if you're doing like punch in and punch out recording and you only have a small range selected. If you go to do the export, you're not going to have much of a song, or it's only going to get a small bit of it. So make sure your locators are selected for the full range of the song. All right, once that's done, you're pretty much ready. You just go up to the File menu, select Export, Audio Mixdown, and I've already given my song a name. It's Simple Man. I'm going to save it. You can browse, save it anywhere you want in the computer. I'm going to save it under My Documents, My Music, Cubase 5 Music, Simple Man. And I'm going to save it in the same folder that my all my work is for the Cubase 5 project. Over here on the right, you have a couple of options. You can select various things. The only thing you want to have selected is stereo out. That's the only thing. These others are for special applications. Maybe you just want to export the sound of the EVP73 into an audio file. Well, you can do that. Or maybe the drum track, or whatever. So those are options as well. But this case, we're doing the whole song, all the instruments, all the MIDI channels, all the audio. So select stereo out. Okay. The file format is going to be WAV. I think on Cubase 9, I think you have the option to export it as an MP3. But I highly recommend using setting it for WAV and then later doing an MP3 file. And the reason for that is a WAV file is uncompressed. You're going to have the best quality with a WAV file. You want a WAV file as your master. You also want to use a WAV file to burn a CD as well. You don't want to use a MP3 to make an audio CD. You want to use a WAV file. I mean, you can with an MP3, but the WAV file is uncompressed and it's not shrunken down like what we talked about earlier about converting MP3s. Okay, this is defaulted for select. I'm not entirely sure what it means, but it's the check mark's on there. That's how it was. I'm going to leave it. Okay, you've got some other options here if you want to just do mono export. or whatever. So none of those are selected, and none of these other parts. So we're pretty much ready. I'm going to go ahead and click the export button, and we're done. We're pretty much done. Now I've had a problem with the video software that's recording the screen right now. It, for some reason, when I do this, it crashes, but the music program doesn't. Okay, the music program is fine. So I just want to let you know that. So this is going to be the end of this video and your audio Mixdown. You'll have your WAV file and you'll be good to go. Thank you so much for watching.